I knew early on when I started working that I didn't want to go the traditional route and work till I was 65 or even 70. I just knew that working that long was just not for me. And I didn't exactly know how I would be able to retire early, or even if that was a possibility for me. But I just knew that this couldn't have been what God designed for my life, right? So I feel like I've been subconsciously, I think that's the word, been on a quest to figure out how to not have to have a 9 to 5 for 40 years or however long it takes to retire. So I just want to go over some reasons why I want to retire early, and also how I plan to retire early. Because you can't just have a dream without a plan, right? And my goal of retiring early is not just a dream that I'm hoping and wishing will happen. It's something that's going to take time and effort and a lot of planning, and more importantly, execution. So let's go over some reasons. I have a piece of paper here that I wrote down some things. So I'm going to set this camera down and go over a few brief points of why and how. So I'm back outside in my favorite spot, I guess, to record right now. It's a very quiet street. So I have a few notes here that I'm gonna say. I'm gonna keep this in. I'm not gonna cut this. I'm back outside and I have a note here of a few reasons why and how I plan to retire at 45. So currently I am 39 and I'll be 40 in a few months. So I turned 40 this year, 2024. And my goal is to retire by 45. Now, me retiring by 45 is not a superficial thing. It's not to brag or to boast. I actually have like concrete reasons why I want to retire by 45. So here goes. Before I even retire, I will retire my mom. My mom means the world to me. She's my everything. I was raised by a single mom. Brief story, hopefully this video doesn't get too long, but I immigrated from Jamaica, a small island in the Caribbean, and we came here when I was 12 years old, and we only came with the clothes in our suitcase. And then my mom had to figure out where we're gonna live, where we're gonna sleep, how we're gonna eat, and she did. She figured it out. I was able to do high school here and go to college and become a civilized adult, right? So now I am a mom. So my mom means the world to me, and she's still working, and my main goal right now is to retire her from her job, so because she has multiple. Another reason why I want to retire by 45 is to spend more time in the sun. If you've watched any of my videos, you know I don't like winter. I don't like to be cold. And the main reason for that is because I'm anemic. I don't have enough iron in my body, and it's something that I've struggled with throughout my adulthood. So I get cold very easily. So I want to be able to spend more time in the sun. And right now I live in the Northeast in the US, which means I have all the seasons and I only like 2. So I want to be able to have that freedom to be able to leave the Northeast when it gets cold, somewhere warmer and with lots of sun, and to live my life that way. And I will also like to go on more daytime walks. as you can see from the intro from this, I am walking. I was walking. So I love walking. I can't stress it enough. I've already talked about it in other videos, but I want to be able to go on more daytime walks. If I want to go on a walk at 7 a.m., I can do that. Go on a walk at 10 a.m. or 1 p.m. I don't want to be restricted by a job. So I want to be able to go on more walks and have more freedom in that way. I want to be able to spend more quality time with my mom. Again, she's like my number one person in my life. So I want to be able to spend more quality time with her, travel with her, show her the world, not just in the United States, but to see other countries, and just to have her have that experience. Here's something that might be superficial, but I want to experience flying first class. So by retiring early, definitely will have the funds to be able to fly first class. So that's something. Let's see what else is on here. I want to be able to spend more time on leisure activities. I want to be able to say try pickleball. I don't know, just something randomly came to me. I want to be able to try different activities and different hobbies without being, say, tied to a job or not having the financial ability to do so. I still do have family in my home country of Jamaica, and I want to be able to help them more financially. It's hard everywhere. We all know about inflation. We all know that, even shrinkflation, where you're buying the same item and it's less, you're getting less, and you're paying more. We all know that rent prices are out of control, food prices out of control. We all know that just the cost of living is exponential right now. So I want to be able to help. I have a couple of family members that still living in Jamaica, and and if you have anyone in another country that's not America or overseas somewhere, that it's really, really hard and difficult. So I want to be able to financially help my family members back home in Jamaica. And here's a reason that probably should have been at the top of the list, but this is not in any kind of order. Before I came out for this walk, just quickly wrote down some things. My daughter, apart from my mom, my daughter is she's my heartbeat, because she's the only one that knows what my heart sounds like from the inside. Don't you like that? No. But somebody else said that before, so I'm not the original author of that saying. But yeah, my daughter, she means my entire world. She's the reason, my why for everything. She's the reason, my why I have gone through some struggles, why I've made a ton of sacrifices, and I just want better for her. I want a better life for her. I want her to have better experiences. So she has things, and she has done things, up until her age now, that I never experienced, because again, we grew up differently. But I made a lot of sacrifices. Some were harder than some, so that she could have a better life. So she's almost going into adulthood. She's in her last year of high school. So I want her to go to whatever college she wants to go to, and not have to worry about the cost. So I just had a family walking by, and I didn't want to put them in my video, so I had to pause it. So just speaking about my daughter, the next thing I have here is spend more money on my health. I want to be able to eat what I want, how I want. I want to be able to have a personal trainer. I want to be able to just maximize my spending when it comes to my health, in terms of whether it is in fitness or in the foods that I eat, or just how I live my life. I'm a big proponent of exercise and eating well, and I want to be able to have quality foods in my life, and be able to have a exercise regimen that I can sustain. I want to be able to also help family and friends randomly. An example, say I have a family member that has a young child and it's back to school time. I want to be able to help them randomly, like, hey, here's something towards back to school. Nothing that they've asked for or they were looking forward to, but just randomly help family members. I've had this idea for a while called blessing bags. I believe I saw it somewhere on the internet, where you keep like a Ziploc bag of, say, socks or a bottle of water, maybe like a granola bar, and a few other things, maybe like a $20 bill in like a Ziploc bag. And you know, sometimes when you go to certain stoplights, you will see homeless people, and I want to be able to like make blessing, they call blessing bags, and give it to, you know, random homeless people that I may come across while driving around or whatever. And you know, I want to be able to do that, but I've never done it before, but I want to be able to do that, and I want to be able to do it and be consistent in it. So I don't want to be able to just do it, say I do it this month and I can't do it next month. I want to be able to do it consistently. And if I'm retired at 45, that means I have the financial funds to do that consistently. And the biggest reason, huge reason for retiring, why I want to retire at 45 and why I will retire at 45, you have to speak it into existence, is time freedom. I want to control my time, every aspect of my time. The job I have now, I really like my job. I like my co-workers. I get along very well with my co-workers and my manager, so I am not in any kind of toxic situation, so I'm not like in any rush to leave my job. However, I do want time freedom. I want to be able to get up when I want to get up. I want to be able to travel when I want to travel and I have to ask for time off or work through, okay, is this person off? Can I take the time off? I want to be able to have that time freedom. Again, time freedom to spend time with my mom, visit family, visit friends, time freedom to travel. I want to travel more often. I love traveling. So by retiring at 45, I can do all those things. So number one overarching thing of retiring by 45 is time freedom. Now we're on to the how. How will I be able to do this? Because a job will not be enough. So I will use my job to help me retire. And how I will use my job is by buying more rental properties. In one of my videos where I say I have a lot of passions, I said that like I'm a real estate investor and I am a landlord. So I plan to invest more and buy more properties. And by doing that, that will create the cash flow that I need to retire early. The second way that I plan to, of how I'll be able to retire early, or I say retire early, but which it is, but retire by 45, is to monetize on YouTube, whether it be this channel or an older channel that has more finance related things on there. So by monetizing on YouTube and by buying more real estate, I'll be able to retire by 40. So those were just some quick why am I drawing a blank? And I'm not editing this out. Maybe I will, I don't really know. But those are just reasons on why and how I plan to retire by 45. And I know that me saying retire at 45, it may sound obnoxious to some people. And again, it's not really, I'm not doing this really for just say for me or to be superficial or anything like that. But I just know that time is precious and time is short, and it's not promised. You're not promised the next second of your life. So I want to spend it doing how I want to spend it, and that's spending more time with my family and doing things that I enjoy, that I love, and to have complete freedom and over my time. So let me know if you have any tips, or if you have any suggestions on anything regarding retirement. What are your plans for retirement? Do you plan to retire early? Do you have an age that you plan to retire, like 62 or 65? I know in the US you can take Social Security at 62, so you can retire then. And I believe the full retirement age is 67 or 66, around there. And I believe you get your full Social Security at 70. So what age do you plan to retire, or do you plan to retire at all? And I want to just say this: I'm not planning to retire to do nothing, because I think that's boring, and that's crazy. But I've heard the saying, retire from something and retire to something. So I'm retiring to time freedom and time spent with my family.